Reggie Burgess is the 9th police chief for the city of North Charleston. In this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups, I sit down with the chief one-on-one. And be sure to download the free Quintin's Close-Ups app in your Apple or Google Play stores.
Chief Burgess, it's so good to see you, man.
You too, Quintin, man. You too, man. You say that I'm busy, you're busy.
I'm all over. I need some more sleep.
Boy, no, I mean, that's a great thing. I mean, that's what you have always been about, man. Getting out there, getting the information out, listening to people, and then putting it where it needs to be.
That's true.
And that's a very positive stuff.
Oh, thank you. It's a public service.
Yes, yes.
So here we sit at North Charleston City Hall, inside your office.
Yeah, well, in my home city. Yeah,
right,
my home city. This building is built on the neighborhood and the grounds that I grew up in, and that's the great thing. I'm home.
Right.
I'm home, man. I'm home. I can look to the left, to the right, and I'm home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chief of Police, where are you emotionally still?
Wow. Like I always say, it's truly a blessing. Really is a blessing. And I get up every day thanking the Lord for rising me up in my right mind. And I ask Him to continue to help me to do what's right. And maybe sometimes I may not be right, but I want to be always righteous. I want to think about everybody in the city and think about everybody that works for the city and try to do right by them. But I guess to me it's almost a thing that it is something that the Lord has ordained me to do. Some ministers say that to me all the time. They say, "Hey son, this is what the Lord intended for you to do." Reverend Harold Mack, who's deceased, he actually lived right next door to me. And when I was a younger kid growing up, I might have been in beginning of high school. He always said I had the blood on me. That's what he would say. And when you're a younger kid, you're kind of like, whoa. Yeah. I'm like looking at myself, man, examining. And but as I got older, he would always say that to me when I went off to college and came back home and got to law enforcement. He always said, "Boy, you got blood on you. The Lord's blood on you."
Right.
And I really, for the first time in my life, I understand what he was saying to me.
Wow.
And I just feel that it's what the Lord ordained me to do. And I'm going to give it the best I can every minute, every second of the day.
And when I was upstairs with Mayor Summey 2 weeks ago for our interview for Quintin's Close-Ups, you talked about unity.
Yes, yes.
How are you uniting the city now as police chief?
Well, I wouldn't say because I'm black.
Okay.
I've been black all my life.
Sure.
I really believe that I think that it has something to do with me being a North Charleston kid. A lot of the folks, Caucasians, African Americans, and Hispanic, they know me personally.
Right.
I've grown up with a lot of people of different colors, different cultures, and different religious backgrounds. Either in park league ball or in churches, and I'm just really community events. And because I've grown up with so many people of different backgrounds, that now when they see me, as you can see, when you see folks, they'll always say Reggie. Then it's, "Oh, I'm sorry, Chief." So it's like, that's one thing. That's what I get a lot in North Charleston. And it's so rewarding that you have your people that you grew up with here in the city that really, really looks at you that way. And I am Reggie. And I'm the chief of police, but I am their Reggie. And I am a North Charleston born and raised kid. And I love my city. I love my city, and I love everybody in the city. So serving the citizens, I mean, it's almost like it's something that I have to do. Something I was born, or maybe I was built to do. So that's my whole purpose right now, is making sure I serve everybody in the rightful manner.
And you talk about that. This is a headline from Channel 5 on May 2nd, 2018 on their website. It says this: "How are they doing? North Charleston police want feedback and survey." So how is the police department doing right now?
Well, the strange thing is that when we actually spoke with the officers at the department about what we were going, some of the initiatives the Department of Justice was working with us on, they were very receptive. They felt that they wanted to be involved with anything that would improve the quality of life for the citizens and also improve the relationship with them and the citizens. As I always say, Quintin, you take a white male officer or a white female officer, and he or she sees a car that runs a stop sign, and that's a violation of the law. Then he initiates his blue lights. Then he actually stops the car, and then in the car there's a black male. White male officer, black male driver. Well, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that some situations, not all, but some situations, the black male is going to feel like, oh man, this police officer stopped me because I'm black. Not all the time, some of the time. The white male officer, he's going to say, man, I saw the guy violate the stop sign. That's something that I have to do. That's my job.
Right.
But man, he's going to probably think I stopped him because he's black. You have two people that don't know each other at all. One's black, one's white. Now that you have conflict and confusion meeting together, sometimes things can get out of hand. That is what we're looking at, trying to drive away from law enforcement and the community. The perception of anybody thinking that I am stopping you because of your color of your skin or your religious background. And also that if you are of color, that white officers are only stopping you because of your color of your skin or your religious background. That is one of the biggest keys to what we're doing with the Department of Justice. It's working on that true partnership, fellowship, association, friendship, any kind of ship we can take.
Okay.
Just ride that ship to improve our relationships from both sides. Because if we don't do it, Quintin, then we're going to always get what we've always got. And that's going to be confusion between the police and the community. And we can make it better. We will make it better. We just have to be engaging on both sides. Law enforcement have to learn and respect citizens. Citizens have to learn and to respect law enforcement. Because at the end of the day, Quintin, if we continue to have differences of opinion on both sides, the criminals are still getting away with crimes. The criminals are still breaking into people's houses. They're still selling drugs and poisoning our communities. They're still raping and robbing people. And the community, who are majority awesome people, police who are majority awesome people, if we continue to have confusion between each other, then evil will exist.
What is your relationship now with the Charleston Area Justice Ministry in your mind?
I don't have really a personal relationship with him. I have a professional, because they have an organization that is looking at ways, like right now they're working on poverty,
right?
Like a housing situation. Right. So they have agendas that are community based, and I work for the community.
Right.
So I don't have any professional relationship with them. But business-wise, I am the chief of police for whoever that is in Cajun. They live in the city of North Charleston. I am going to protect and serve them. So, sometimes I get information from them about things that they want to get my input on, or they may need to come to a meeting, or they may just want to get information up to me, and I receive them, and I'll send information back to them. I don't have anything to say about them other than they are an organization that's doing what they do. Yeah, that's it. I don't come across anybody from Cajun where it's like, they don't understand what I'm doing, and it's never been the case in that, because of course I'm a new chief, but I've been around since they began, and I've seen a lot of folks in Cajun, and I actually speak to them time and time again, once in a while when I see them, but I don't have any issue with anybody.
And I know that when you talked with Harv Jacobs for Live 5 News, I guess for your 90th, well, after your 90 days in office, you said this quote: "We as law enforcement in the community have to remove the evil out of the community so that the kids and families can enjoy their lives." Summer's coming up. What is that evil that's keeping you up or focusing your attention on right now?
The evil is uncivilized citizens. And uncivilized citizens at one time were civilized citizens. So that means that you and I are considered civilized. But if you and I choose to do evil, we become uncivilized. because we live in a nation that has laws, constitutions, and states. So when you are outside of that and you don't care about that, you consider an uncivilized citizen. But you can always return back to being civilized. But what I'm looking at, and what we're looking at as the police department, is that the majority of people that live in these communities that make up City of North Charleston are the best people on this earth. It's only a small population that are doing what is wrong. And we have to recognize that community and police and get together and look at strategies and look at some initiatives and say, okay, let's say, okay, how can we as a police and the community, how can we stop these things from occurring?
Sure. And
how can we prevent them from occurring again? And if they do occur, then law enforcement with the community will go out and will bring the people to court. Now, the Bible says this, that when Moses went up to get the Ten Commandments, the Lord told Moses, get thee down, because thy people have corrupted themselves. So I figure if the Lord told Moses, who was the person who was responsible for bringing, the word to the world, he told Moses that a small percentage of the Israelites were uncivilized, that back then they had to find ways of getting those people placed in positions where they learn from what they do and become civilized citizens again. And that's how our system is set up. We have a small percentage that just does not want to do right. We have a small percentage that when you and I go out here every day in the morning to get up to go to a legitimate job, to make legitimate money, to get a piece of paper in our hand that has your name and my name that we work hard for. We have people that we know that stands on corners all day, all evening, all night to poison our communities. We have people that are walking around these neighborhoods or riding, looking to prey on innocent people by raping them and assaulting them. We have people every day right now, as I'm speaking, trying to figure out how they're going to break into somebody's house to steal from them. You have people right now, as we're speaking, they are trying to plan what they call the perfect get back or retaliation, which is a murder. So those are the people, that small percentage, that the community and the police, we have to hold them accountable. We have to hold them accountable. Because if we don't, then society itself will fall into the same situation as we've seen some societies in biblical time that just really didn't work out because they didn't have the right thought process of doing right by each other. Some folks don't like the broken window theory. The broken window theory came up years ago in law enforcement, and it says, Quintin, if you and I were living on Mockingbird Lane, and if you lived in house number 1, and I lived in house number 3, we had a neighbor living in house number 2, if you and I kept our lawns cut, kept our homes in order, make sure everything's clean, and we live in a nice, good environment. Doesn't matter where we live at, but we took care of our residents, and we were prosperous. But if we allow our neighbor who lives in house number 2 to let his grass grow, to keep trash in his yard, never cleaning his house, having refrigerators and everything all in the front lawn, then if we don't say to him that this is not what we expect out of our neighbor, then if we accept it, then eventually I'm going to accept it, you're going to accept it, and then the whole community is going to be the same way that house number 2 is. And I don't believe that's what the Lord intended for us to do. I believe he intended for us to, he said, I came so that you can have life and have it abundantly. That's what he said. And I really believe that that's exactly what's going on in these communities. Folks do not want to have people shooting in their homes. Folks do not want to come home and see people fighting and cursing and urine smells. When the N Club was in effect, I spent the night in this house around the N Club. And the reason why I did that, Quintin, it was an older elderly couple living there.
Right.
I want to really live one night what they were living for 30-something years. And Quintin, I spent the night there with them, and I heard how the club noise was affecting them. I saw, people walking all around the place, smoking drugs and cursing and doing lewd and lascivious acts inside this lady's carport. I actually saw vehicles drive up, people fighting and jump back in cars and leaving, and it peeling out of the neighborhood. And then the next morning when I was leaving that couple's house, the young lady she had fed me breakfast, and I was walking out the front door, and she had like water bottles, like 6 of them lined up in the front door. So I said, "Miss, do you want me to take these out to the trash?" She said, "No, son." She said, "Those are the water bottles that I put bleach in, and I go and I pour it so the urine that the kids had come in my yard and urinate and did all kind of lewd acts. I use that to clean up, to get rid of that smell." And I said to myself, nobody should have to live like that. Nobody should have to live. Doesn't matter where you're living at. You shouldn't have to live like that. So yeah, we had the summer coming, but we have a lot of programs, a lot of CAP programs.
Sure.
We have a lot of programs with the recreation department. We have a lot of programs that are based in the community centers that's throughout the city of North Charleston. So every center has a camp. They have programs. And then we, like I said, in the police department, we're working with the young adults, kids from middle school all the way to high school. Because the idle mind is the devil workshop. If you have a child that's not thinking positively, eventually that evil is going to seep in. And instead of them sitting down with arts and crafts or a sport or drawing, something that is taking their attention and doing something positive with their hands and their mind, then they're going to look for the first thing that's coming. And if I'm miserable and I'm doing bad things, then I'm looking for company. So if you have an idle mind, then I ain't going to try to get you to hang up with me to do the same things. Then the cycle continues. You find another person, So that's what we do. We get thoroughly immersed in our schools, our programs. See, our SROs, we have 31 SROs in the city of North Charleston schools. When summertime comes, our SROs are assigned to the campus. So in other words, Odika Brown, she's at, I believe, North Charleston Elementary. Well, she's going to the camp that feeds North Charleston Elementary students, so that the kids who see her in the regular school setting will see her in the summer camp. So we have like a wraparound service to have law enforcement who has established a relationship and school resource officer with those kids and the parents. Because when the parents come to the center to drop them off, "Oh, hey, Officer Brown, how you doing?" Yeah, "Oh, I got, you know how to deal with my son. You know how he is." Boom, he gets over there. He has a great time. Not only is he with an officer who thinks the world of him while he's in the school setting, but in the summertime, same thing. Yes. And that's what we do here in North Charleston.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
Yes, sir.
And I forgot to mention this. Obviously, the Wanda Bridge partial closure right now.
Yes.
I know that you guys don't have much to do with that, really, but
With the Interstate here,
Right.
Yeah, we deal with that part. And we met with Chief Reggie from our president. He and I, he's like a mentor of mine. I spoke with him several times. Matter of fact, I'm going to call him a little bit later. And we told him anything that they need, that we'll help them with. And what he asked us to do is really work the interstate side, because once the flow of traffic comes from over there, it's going to impact our areas. Yeah. So we would actually, our traffic unit's been working strictly on the interstate, keeping everything flowing. So it doesn't matter if it's over that side, it still impacts us, because the #1 retail place to get anywhere in Charleston County, you have to go through North Charleston.
That's true.
So we're going to get it anyway.
Anyways.
Yeah, so we have to do our part to help out.
That's so good to hear.
Yes, sir.
And when I come back to interview you for Quintin's Close-Ups a year later, what will you tell me about your job as chief?
Quintin, to be honest with you, I hopefully when you come back, and thank you for coming back.
Yes, sir.
Hopefully, like I said, we did a survey internal
Right.
with the police officers, and we did an external survey. And what we're going to do, we're going to actually evaluate the surveys when the Department of Justice releases them, because we have nothing to do with them per se.
Right.
When they release them to everybody else, we'll get the same information, and we will actually remove anything that the citizens say they want us to do. If they say that they want to see us, more officers, driving down streets or getting out cars, we're going to implement that into our strategic agenda, and we're going to implement those things. If they say that they really want us to do more community events which we do, we'll start doubling up. We'll do more of them, and wherever they want, whatever the citizens request of us, or say there's more of a need in that, then we would do it. And even if the citizens say, well, they want us to be more people friendly, that's what we're working on. When I got sworn in, that was day one. And what we would do is we have 60, I believe 60 plus community meetings each month in North Charleston. And I've attended, you know, a lot of them, and I'm going to get to all of them. And what we're doing is we're asking the citizens, we're letting them know exactly the crimes that occur in their neighborhood. They actually see the crimes. They see it as it is. The dates, the times, what crime occurred, and if we made an arrest or what happened. So they know what's going on. I would not go to Liberty Hill and take the crimes that occur in Coosaw Creek or Westcott or Union Heights to Liberty Hill. Liberty Hill doesn't want to know about that. They want to know what's going on in Liberty Hill. So we give them real time, real information pertaining to their neighborhood. And then they will actually take a look at it, and we talk about that in the meetings. And then the most important part of the conversation, Quintin, is that we ask them what do they think would be best for their community. And then whatever they tell us that they think, we as an agency will implement it, we'll get it going. Because that tells us that who knows that community better than the citizens that live there. I shouldn't go into Coosaw Creek and tell them what is going on in their community. I don't live there. I live in the city of North Charleston, I don't live in Coosaw Creek. Coosaw Creek citizens should be able to tell us what's going on in there and what's best for them. And then we as an agency with the community will come up with ideals and strategies to work on the issues that the community said they need us to work on. Getting the buy-in from the community, having them to be involved with what's going on in the community from the police side of it, that's a win-win for us.
That's so good to
Win-win for us.
That's really, really
so
good to hear.
when you come back next year, after we implement and get our strategic agenda, and I'd like to invite you to, we're going to have a gathering of all the community presidents.
Okay. And
we'll actually get them together, and they'll help us to write our strategic agenda. And that strategic agenda will be a model to lead and guide us as a city with our communities from here on out. And it's all based on ideals and practices that's best suited for the community with the community's full input. And so when you come back in next year, I should be able to tell you about the different communities and what they've been saying and some of the things that they would like us, to do and what we have been doing with the communities. So I should be able to give you, you can pick out any community I'll be able to tell you what we've done and how we're doing things and what we're going to be doing from that day when you come in here to the future.
Wow, so good to hear.
Yes, sir.
Well, Chief Reggie Burgess, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate this.
Quintin, it's a blessing, and I thank you very much. Not only because you came here to speak with me, because speak with me, you can talk to me anytime you want to, you know that. But I really appreciate you having the love and the passion to say, listen, I want to know what's going on, and instead of automatically saying, I know what's going on. You're trying to come to the police department and find out what we're doing and giving us the benefit of the doubt. And I only can thank you for doing that, because that's what I would do. I would go to you and say, Quintin, hey, like you're doing, what's going on? Can you tell me what's going on? And I appreciate that you're giving us the benefit of the doubt.
Oh, anytime.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, God bless you.
Likewise.